Hey y'all, what is going on? What is going on? It's your girl, Melba Pearson, Melba from Miami, the resident legal diva, all about Mondays with Melba. Thank you all for tuning in. First off, before we get into our amazing guest for today, today is the celebration of Juneteenth. This is the second year that it is actually a federal holiday. It is not a paid holiday, so we still have some more work to do. But Juneteenth is the day that is commemorating the official end of slavery. Even though the Emancipation Proclamation was announced 2 years prior, the enslaved people in Galveston, Texas did not get the news because the slave owners did not want them to know because they wanted to get one or two more seasons of crops out of them. So Juneteenth, June 19th, 1865, was the day that slavery officially ended in this country for everyone. Under that, of course, we can argue about criminal justice and the new Jim Crow, right? But in that form, slavery ended on June 19th, 1865. So that is why we commemorate, and we have to center that in all of our thoughts and discussions. Now, the other thing is that June is Pride Month. So I am bringing on the amazing Karen Costello Wilder, who is the interim executive director and the board chair for Aqua Foundation. And it's an amazing organization that's been around for a minute and doing great work in the LGBTQ community, plus community. So Karen, welcome to Mondays with Melba.
Thank you, Melba. Good evening to you and the viewers. I'm so happy to be here.
Yay!
Really, thank you for inviting me.
Of course, of course. So first off, can you share a little bit about what Aqua Foundation is? Tell us about the history and what the organization is about.
Sure. I'll go first, just a little bit about me and my responsibilities, and then we'll go into what Aqua is. I'm currently the board chair and acting executive director for the Aqua Foundation for Women. I have lived in Miami for almost 10 years. My wife, Rosemary, and I have been together for 23 years. And almost for 14 years of that, we were long distance from Miami to Ann Arbor, Michigan. Crazy, right? I always tell people I would have rather done that with Rosemary than any other relationship with anyone else.
Oh,
But I have been part of the LGBTQ community in Miami for like 38 years because my best friend from college, Dennis Edwards, moved here right after we graduated from Michigan State. And I always came down every year to visit him, and he was very involved. Uh, so I've known the players, and the climate and stuff like that. So it, has been an honor to be the chair of the Aqua Foundation for Women. I got involved about 4.5 years ago, and I'd never been on a board before. And you might find it hard to
go
believe,
right in.
but I literally didn't like talk for the first year because I was like just intimidated by all these women that were incredible. Finally, they just said, "Karen, you need to speak," and look at where we are today. So, and my responsibilities as the board chair is, to ensure that everyone fulfills their fiduciary responsibility, and also I oversee the ED. Technically, a board chair of an organization is like really at the top of the organization because the like staff and stuff are paid. I am a volunteer, and they report to the board. It's been a great experience for me thus far. I'm 11 months in, definitely a learning curve. But I think I'm holding my own, and I love doing it. Um, I believe that my sensitivity has been the secret to my success, and I believe that it's more important to be heard than to be loved, because we need to be seen. I'm a
Yeah.
big believer in kindness, and I love great food, cows. I miss Michigan every day, but I don't regret the decision coming to Miami to be with Rosemary full time. My career historically has been in the restaurant industry, but I've been pretty much volunteering now for the last 5 years. Aqua was founded because it was recognized that there was a crucial gap in support and leadership for lesbian, bisexual, and trans women in South Florida. It is the brainchild of a brilliant attorney and activist named Alicia Apfel. And it kind of came about in in the way that women in the LGBTQ community had been helping our gay brothers, for many years because of the AIDS crisis. And, and with that came a lot of fundraising, a lot of money being spent on research and, all the things that were needing to be attended to. And we were very happy to do that, and we were leaders in care and support. But there came a time where we figured, like, the women need a little piece of that pie. Now, I make a really good banana cream pie, and I need a little bigger piece of that pie. So the women here in Miami, and this was like in the late 1990s, got together and decided, we're going to set up our own fund. We were originally with the Women's Fund, and then in 2004, the Aqua Foundation for Women was, founded. Our mission is to support lesbian, bisexual, trans, and queer identifying women through scholarships, grants, and initiatives. We've awarded about $900,000 since 2004 in scholarships and grants and initiatives.
That's amazing.
And that has been, basically our main purpose. We have supported LGBTQ homeless youth. We established a trans emergency fund during COVID, where if our trans brothers and sisters need, little money for rent or food or something like that, they could apply for a $200 grant from us. And we have been able to support many people, which has been great, to assist them with some financial shortfalls. We sponsored voter registration drives. So these are just a couple of things that we've done, historically over the years.
That's amazing. So
Thank you.
How does this work in an intersectional way? So how do you do like outreach and work with, queer identifying people of color that fall under the umbrella of those needing, that work with the Aqua Foundation?
Sure. Well, Aqua is for all LGBTQ women in South Florida. We are the only by and for LGBTQ organization by women in Florida, and as far as we know, in the southern, states. To me, intersectionality is the celebration and validation of identities that don't have to be put like into one box, and Aqua is definitely leading in an intersectional way. And honestly, we have since day one. Those in Aqua aren't forced into a cis-normative box that heteronormative society often associates with queer women, and all queer women, queer women of color, different abilities, different educational status, different socioeconomic status. Our Aqua scholars are also trans and non-binary, and we recognize the intersection and parallels between gender identity and sexuality by making it inclusive for everyone. I'm happy to report that we had 9 scholars this year.
Ooh, huge.
The cornerstone program of Aqua is their scholarship program. That is where the majority of the money has gone over the years. Mm-hmm. We have expanded our application process in the sense is in that we're reaching more people, which is really exciting.
Yeah.
We are in that process right now. The end of the application process is June 24th. And we're looking forward to, going over all the applications. It's just, it's a joy. It's a duty. It's amazing to read what all these women, write about and the experiences that they've had, and also their talents and their brilliance and what they bring, to the community. We do pair every scholar with an LGBTQ mentor.
Oh,
current leader in the community.
Why is that so important?
Well, because the impetus and the goal of our scholarship program is to create emerging leaders for the LGBTQ community. Now, you can appreciate this because you were part of the ACLU when Rosemary was president of the ACLU. And I remember when she resigned from the board, people were like, crazy. And she's like, people, I'm 78 years old. We need some youngins. You know what I mean? And that's what we're trying to do because, and also we need fresh, minds and a fresh lens on what's happening. And also, everything is always so fluid and changing. And we want to be sure, that we're serving the people that need to be served most, underneath our mission umbrella. And what's great about the scholarship and mentor program is, these relationships evolve over time and last, long past the time a scholar graduates, and if I've heard it once, I've heard it 100 times, that the mentors often feel that they glean more from the relationship with the scholar than the other way around, which is, technically how it's set up, which is great. You can always, teach an old dog new tricks.
Right? like, how do I use TikTok?
My God, yes. Oh, and so this year we had 9 scholars for the 21-22 scholarship season. We had, any ranging from going to Broward College, a 19-year-old to a early 40s trans woman who's getting her executive MBA at FAU. Awesome. We also had scholars from the U, from FIU, from Nova, and from Barry. And anything from, getting an associate's at Broward to getting an MD and PhDs this year.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So I am constantly just blown away by our scholars, and we had the end of year party here at our home, and it was so great. We hadn't been able to meet in person for 2 years. And so I went around the room, AKA the patio, and introduced all the scholars, and first I introduced Katie Paff, and she goes to Broward, and she's an HRC National Youth Ambassador. There's only 10 of them in the country. She is an Aqua scholar, 2-time.
Hang on. HRC, for those who don't know, is
Human Rights Campaign.
Thank you.
And it's a big deal, and like I said, we had a medical doctor and we had 2 PhD students getting degrees like in public health, and really doing work for the community and giving back to the community in that way. We have, let me look at my notes here. We had 1 scholar, lovely young African-American woman, Ashani Taylor. She worked 3 jobs to put herself through the U and graduated a semester early, having taken 18 credits in her last semester.
Ooh.
This, I know, right? I mean,
and working
3 jobs.
That's amazing.
And so that is just an example of the Aqua scholar and the hard work ethic that they have and the dedication that they have to becoming emerging leaders through our community. And like I said, I'm just blown away by our scholars every year, and like I said, we're in the middle of the process now, and we look forward to this year's class. And that, I would say, is our main program. Historically, Aqua has been what's called a funder organization. We raise funds and we give them away. You know what I mean? And that's what we've done. It has been more difficult the last couple of years because of COVID. And, we don't need to go on that, but, so that kind of slowed things down a little bit in the fundraising department. We were very grateful this year to be a financial match beneficiary from the AIDS Healthcare Foundation. And we participate in the Florida AIDS Walk. And for every $1 that we raised in fundraising, they matched it 50%. Wow. That's why I was telling you earlier, I needed to be at the Stonewall Pride parade on Saturday to receive like one of those big size Ellen checks. It was funny to see Rosemary and I walking back to the car with that thing through a crowd of 40,000 people.
How does that fit?
And every other person's like, is that check for me? No, it's not. You know what I mean? But we have, we are thinking about doing more programming. We do, and some things that we do are classified as programming, you know what I mean? But like, for example, one is like an Aqua barbecue that we have for families, for LGBT families. And that is our only event during the year that we do not charge for.
Oh, nice.
We
Okay.
do an ask because, as
Mhm.
my wife says, wherever more than 5 gays gather, there will be an ask. That's just what we do. We can't give money away if we don't raise it. You know what I mean? I know.
I love that. God, I
Yeah.
love you, Rosemary. I miss you. Okay, carry on,
That
Karen.
that has been something that we've done for several years now, and it came about, through a conversation that a former managing director, executive director of Aqua, Robin Schwartz, heard between friends, and they had been at someone's house, and there was other gay families, and the child, was like, their family looks like my family,
Right.
and it's just so important to see yourself and other people in other situations. So
Right.
we have the family barbecue. It's usually held in February. I mean, we go all out. We get a Kona ice truck, and we've got a big water slide, and we get the tattoo face painting or tattoo painting, and we have a DJ, and we serve a lot of food, and it's a lot of fun. And that is considered a program because we're giving something back to the community. And this year we had 75 people show up on historic Virginia.
Wow.
Yeah. And so that's, a lot of fun. But we are going to be concentrating a little bit more on programming.
What's
That's
that going to look like? Because, I loved what you were talking about, having that emergency fund for trans folks who are in need, and of course, obviously that mentorship that's building new leaders. But yeah, I'd love to hear more about the programs that you're going to expand on.
we are having our board retreat in July, and a lot of
Mhm.
these decisions are going to be made that day. I feel there's going to be a lot of robust discussions, you know, and I'm here for it, and it's all good. We want to be thinking strategically. I feel that Aqua is experiencing a time where we're currently really intentional about who we will be serving in the community, in the coming years. Issues change.
Mhm.
Different parts of the community have different needs. One may be rising up with more needs that, wasn't evident in the past, or someone that we were serving technically.
Mhm.
Our mission remains intact. And of course, those people that we're serving will be LGBTQ, identifying women
Mhm.
population. But within that framework, where does Aqua want to put their resources?
Mhm.
And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward on zeroing in on 2 or 3 really clear ways in which we want to go forward, and then being, again, extremely intentional and strict
Mhm.
about only taking in or accepting any kind of offer and opportunity that deals directly with what we want to do and who we want to serve. We do have an exciting partnership coming up, but I can't speak about it today. I know that's ridiculous. And I apologize for that. Although I was just gonna hold on. Okay, I can say it. I just texted someone. He said, we have a working relationship partnership in the works is 100% fine. We will be collaborating with the YWCA of South Florida.
Awesome.
Are you familiar with Carrie Ann
Yeah.
Royce?
Yes,
Oh,
I am.
love her. So
So
they have applied and were granted a grant from the Children's Trust here in Miami,
Mhm.
and they are going to be considered a lead agency for the Children's Trust. And kind of I don't understand specifically because it's still organic now, because they literally just found out about 2 weeks ago. And so under the auspice and in the umbrella of the YWCA will be 10 organizations, I believe, that specialize or are experts in areas that the YWCA wants to expand their reach to.
Nice.
And one of those is expanding their LGBTQ reach. And so through the e-introduction of Stephanie Silvestre. Did you know Stephanie? Okay. Through the Children's Trust, she introduced me to Carrie, and we had a couple Zoom meetings and were asked to consider being the LGBTQ piece of that puzzle.
That's
And
amazing.
so amazing. We are so excited. We are so
Congrats.
excited.
I'm so happy for you guys.
And so in saying that, what they are asking us that they want us to do, and this is where some new programming I believe is going to come in, is we are going to create 4 to 6 webinars for the organization, and they are allowing us to decide what we want to focus those webinars on. We have not made that decision yet. We have to have our first one up and running in October, so we've got a little bit of time. But that's also, going to be discussion at the retreat to say, like, okay, who do we want these webinars, to reach and why? So we're very excited about that project. We've never had anything like this particular, opportunity, and we are grateful for it, and happy to be a partner with the YWCA, who, did you know, is the longest running social justice organization in South Florida?
I did not know that.
Either did Rosemary.
I was today years old when I learned that.
Exactly. Yes.
Wow, that's awesome.
Carrie told me that, and I was like, that is super great. So we're very excited to be working for them. With them, and also excited to learn who the other partners are and what they'll be doing. We will be meeting once a month for like a 2-hour meeting, just everyone to get to know each other and stuff like that. And also at this time we're planning a mini, I'm calling it a mini conference because it's probably going to be about 4 to 5 hours, in October 20th.
Nice.
It's called Break the Stigma, HIV and AIDS in the world of women and femme folks. We have, again, with the scholars, an amazing scholar named Amelia Leon. They are a public health master's candidate at FIU with an emphasis in epidemiology. And they work with the female trans, women of color community who are at risk of HIV/AIDS. And that population is so underserved in that arena. And we would like to bring some more attention to that. And we, are looking for sponsors. And, like last year, we did get the beneficiary map from AHF. So we'll be asking them to possibly like have a testing truck there. We're going to have a keynote speaker who will be a trans person living with AIDS. We're going to have a couple panels, couple breakout rooms. We will be serving lunch and stuff like that. And then we're planning to end the conference with, a little performance by some, maybe drag queens and stuff like that. We want to end it on a lighter note because it's a very serious subject. It's very serious work that Amelia is doing, and that also really ties in with, with our mission, and serving the trans community and the LGBTQ community. And she also serves, a lot of cis women also. And that will be part of the conference too. So we're looking forward to that. We're starting to get back, in it. And that's exciting. And again, it's just, as a person who's 60 years old, and I still think of myself as pretty young, but then I'm dealing with but I'm having these conversations, and just so enlightened by these young people, and just how they think, and what they're bringing to the table. And I look around that table, and we have Hispanic women, and we have Black women, and we have gay, bi, trans women, and it's just a rainbow of love and possibility. And it's just really exciting to be a part of it. Really exciting. So those are a couple new things that we're going to have this year
Mhm,
that we haven't had in the past. So, and we've also recognized, and this is again part of doing business,
mhm,
that a lot of grants now are
mhm.
requiring programming,
Yeah. Mhm,
and so in order to, you know, qualify, um, to, possibly be chosen for certain grants, we have to, have some more programming.
right.
So that's kind of where we're going in that direction. I know you asked about Aqua Girl.
Yes, because I would like to know. But I remember back in the day when I first moved to Miami, folks may or may not know the story how I was a prosecutor for a year. The bar exam was not kind to me, and I ended up in the entertainment, field for 5 years. So I was a promoter doing marketing and working for a variety of nightclubs. And the one thing I had heard about was Aqua Girl, right?
Yeah,
So I'm an ally, so I just go to hang out. I'm like, listen, if the DJ's bumping, I'm there, right? I
yeah,
don't care who's
exactly.
throwing the
Oh
party.
man,
So
and they were bumping at that pool party.
okay,
I mean, Aqua Girl was a force to, that is how, the initial funding for Aqua came from Aqua Girl, because it was a huge, 3-day circuit party for women. And it had all different things to offer. Of course, it culminated in the big pool party at the National Hotel on the Saturday, but, there were golf outings and, tea dances and a brunch and, stuff like that. So everyone had a little something that they could participate in.
Mhm.
Um, we have not had Aqua Girl for a few years now. Uh, and we are, however, hopeful to bring the brand back, although we're
Mhm.
not exactly sure in what exact form.
Right.
We do not at this time have the volunteer bandwidth
Yeah.
to put something like that on, like ourselves, by ourselves.
It's
The
huge.
last two Aqua Girls that we had, we worked in conjunction with Allison Burgos, also one of the original board members of Aqua, and
Mhm.
her event company, Pandora Events.
Yes.
And, you know, and then we got, some of the proceeds and stuff. And it works that way with the grants,
Mhm.
stuff like that. So that was great. But I am renewing the trademark for Aqua Girl tomorrow. So, we're still hopeful that that is going to be in our future. And I believe that it will be. We love the brand, we love the memories, and we want to do something um, along those lines again. And, it might not be able to be as big as it was in the past,
Right.
but it still be as fun. And
I
thanks to Bacardi, there'll be free liquor.
that part. So, I mean, I think we touched on everything, Karen, about the vision, where you're going in the future, as an organization, the populations you're serving, the resources. How can folks find you? Because I'm also going to drop in the chat on Facebook, as well as for those watching on YouTube in the comment section, the link to be able to learn more about the Aqua Foundation. But how do folks find
Well,
Aqua?
we are on, social on Facebook and Instagram under Aqua Foundation for Women. And we actually have a new website debuting next week, which we're very excited about. So if you're going to check out the website, wait till next week, because it's all fabulous and updated. And that is at aquafoundation.org. And that's how people can find us. Yeah.
There we go. That
I
is
can give you my email address and people can, contact me directly, or, if they have questions or if they have any interest in becoming involved. We're always looking to expand our volunteers, looking for committee members. We have our scholarship committee, which is awesome because you get to pick the scholars. And we have our fundraising committee, which is awesome for some people who are good at raising money. But again, like I say, an important, crucial part of having a 501c3 organization. We have our marketing committee, which, as you know, in this day and age is super important, especially with social.
Mhm.
The finance committee. So if you know your numbers, so we're welcoming anyone to get involved.
Awesome. Well, Karen, thank you so much for being a part of Mondays with Melba and sharing this information. Happy Pride. Huge shout out to Rosemary, who was the first president I worked with when I was at the ACLU of Florida. And I'm so proud to consider both of you friends, as you both have worked so hard and have been such trailblazers in the community. So thank you for all that you do. And thank you for looking out for the next generation of folks who, may not necessarily have it as easy as folks think that they do, right? So that's
Absolutely.
definitely something to center.
We're fighting the fight.
Amen to that. And thank you to all of you for tuning in. Check out the comments. Definitely like, share amongst your networks. And I'll see you next week. Take good care.
Thank
Bye.
you, Melba.
Thank you, Karen.